Okay, good evening guys. So today we're going to be learning about gerunds, and we're going to be starting off by watching a video which should summarize and explain it, and then we'll kind of look over this review sheet and see if you guys have any questions. So let's watch the video first.
Or about.com. Perhaps you've heard the term gerund and wondered what it means. Gerunds are nouns that are formed from verbs. They show that the focus of the statement is on an activity. You can create a gerund by adding the suffix ing to a verb. Running is great exercise. The suffix ing is added to the verb run to create a gerund. Running acts as a noun because it is the subject of the sentence. Gerunds can also be used in other parts of the sentence. Melissa prefers shopping at the mall. Shopping is a direct object. A gerund can also be the object of a preposition. Darren read a book about investing last week. About is the preposition, followed by the gerund investing. If you remember that a gerund comes from a verb, you can take out unnecessary words and shorten the sentence. For example, Roxanne looked back after she crossed the street becomes Roxanne looked back after crossing the street. Gerunds can also follow phrasal verbs such as put off or cut out. Kyle failed the exam because he put off studying too long. Beth lost weight when she cut out eating donuts during her morning coffee break. When adjectives are combined with prepositions, they are also commonly followed by gerunds. Gerald was overjoyed at learning he had won the competition. It may be easy to confuse a gerund with a present participle. Just remember that a gerund is always used as a noun, not an adjective. Running is fun. Running is the noun. We watched the running athletes. Here, running acts as a present participle.
So I'm going to pause it here for a second. So if you guys look at the top part of your sheet, you're going to see that, as he just said, gerunds always act as a noun, and I just want to differentiate because we haven't learned about participles yet. Participles are going to act as an adjective, such as in this sentence, the running athletes describes the athletes, whereas running is actually an action, and gerunds do describe a state of being or an activity, an action, that sort. So if you look at the top part of your page, just go ahead and make a little star next to the top part, because that's really important summary information about what we've just learned. And you'll see underneath as well, he was talking about how gerunds can take the point or the part of a subject, direct object, subject complement, and object of preposition. And underneath it, in the examples of gerunds, you can also see that there's some examples of each of them. So go ahead, in parentheses, it says the gerund is blank as the blank, and go ahead and underline what it acts as. So for example, the first one is as the subject. So you're going to see that we have as the subject, as the direct object, as the subject complement, and as the object of the preposition. So we'll quickly just finish watching up the video and then go ahead and look at the bottom sentences afterwards.
A gerund phrase can include an object and modifiers. Amy actually enjoys filing her taxes early. The direct object of this sentence is the gerund phrase, filing her taxes early. This phrase includes the gerund filing, the object taxes, and the modifiers her and early. So now we know that a gerund is a noun formed from a verb and the suffix ing, and you've seen how it functions in various sentence structures.
Okay. So we'll end it there. Perfect. Okay. So now looking at the bottom, in an example as a sentence, you're going to see that there's a gerund, a direct object, and then also the infinitive as an adverb, just like we had in the video. Do you guys have any questions about the example sentence? You can go back through and read through the examples of the gerunds as the different parts of traveling, sleeping, speeding, and those gerunds. And when you're done, you can go ahead and look back up at me. So did you guys notice that in these sentences, there's also always a main verb and then the gerund as well. So we're going to flip to the next page in the packet, and you're going to find 7 or 8 sentences that we're going to use to point out what the main verbs are and the gerunds. So remember that gerunds normally end with ing, and then they're going to be either preceded or followed by a verb. So go ahead, follow the directions, circle the main verb, and underline the gerund, and we'll do the first one together. So I enjoyed cooking with my mom. Who thinks they know what the main verb and what the gerund are?
The main verb is enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
and the gerund is cooking.
Perfect. So go ahead, circle enjoy since that's the main verb, and underline cooking since that's the gerund. And do that throughout the rest of the sentences and just find the main verbs and then the gerunds in them. And when you're done, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Now go ahead and compare your answers and see if you guys got anything different or all the same thing.
I think we have.
Not all the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like you guys understand the difference then between the main verb and the gerunds. So on the last page, go ahead and flip to your last page. You're going to see a list of words. Well, these are not gerunds, but these are words that gerunds would normally follow. So for example, you can pick one of them that, so let's say attempt. I attempted cooking tonight. Or I escaped learning today. So those are just a few examples using some of the words that we have here. Now you're going to use these words because these will help you to kind of create some sentences. And go ahead and part 2 of this is actually you have 5 sentences. Go ahead and write, they don't have to be long sentences, but make sure that they're full sentences using these gerunds. And you can always look back at this sheet to help you. And then when you're done with that, just go ahead and look up at me. Evidently, Kristen enjoys cleaning.
If only to avoid homework.
When you have at least 4 sentences done, I'll give you guys about 30 more seconds. Go ahead and look up at me. Okay, that's good. So go ahead and pick your favorite sentence, and then go ahead and we'll write it up onto the board. Bring your paper up and go ahead and write one of your sentences onto the board. let's read these all together. Laughing releases happy chemicals like dopamine in the brain. We also have I celebrate laughing because the joy of life. So let's come through together under the first sentence. Does that contain a main verb and a gerund?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Eric, will you go ahead and circle the main verb and underline the gerund? Perfect. Then Kristen, can you go through another example and can you find the main verb phrase and the gerund or the main verb?
Circle the main verb.
Mm-hmm. Either one, just to show. Perfect. Okay, so after finding the verbs and the gerunds within the sentence, and then writing your own sentences, and then looking at other people's, from 1 to 5, 1 being I get this, to 5 being I need more help, go ahead and put up fingers, and don't be afraid to say you need more help. 5, you're good?
Good.
Perfect, okay, thank you guys. You go back to your seats.